Chapter 1 of the Ethics of Belief. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Shayna. The Ethics of Belief by William Kingdon Clifford. Chapter 1. A ship owner was about to send to sea an emigrant ship. He knew that she was old and not over well built. At the first, she had seen many seas and climes, and often had needed repairs. Doubts had been suggested to him that possibly she was not seaworthy. These doubts preyed upon his mind and made him unhappy. He thought perhaps he ought to have her thoroughly overhauled and refitted, even though this should put him at great expense. Before the ship sailed, however, he succeeded in overcoming these melancholy reflections. He said to himself that she had gone safely through so many voyages and had weathered so many storms that it was idle to suppose she would not come home safely from this trip also. He would put his trust in Providence, which could hardly fail to protect all these unhappy families that were leaving their fatherland to seek better times elsewhere. He would dismiss from his mind all ingenuous suspicions about the honesty of builders and contractors. In such ways he acquired a sincere and comfortable conviction that his vessel was thoroughly safe and seaworthy. He watched her depart with a light heart and benevolent wishes for the success of the exiles in their strange new home that was to be, and he got his insurance money when she went down in mid-ocean and told no tales. What shall we say of him? Surely this, that he was very guilty of the death of those men. It is admitted that he did sincerely believe in the soundness of his ship, but the sincerity of his conviction can in no wise help him, because he had no right to believe on such evidence as was before him. He had acquired his belief by honestly earning it in patient investigation, but by stifling his doubts. And although in the end he may have felt so sure about it that he could not think otherwise, yet as much he had knowingly and willingly worked himself into that frame of mind, and he must be held responsible for it. Let us alter the case a little, and suppose that the ship was not unsound after all, that she had made her voyage safely, and many others after it. Will that diminish the guilt of her owner? Not one jot. When an action is once done, whether it's right or wrong, it's forever. No accidental failure of its good or evil fruits can possibly alter that. The man would have not been innocent, he would have only not been found out. The question of right or wrong has to do with the origin of his belief, not the matter of it, not what it was, but how he got it, not whether it turned out to be true or false, but whether he had a right to believe on such evidence as was before him. There was once an island in which some of the inhabitants professed a religion teaching neither the doctrine of original sin nor that of eternal punishment. A suspicion got abroad that the professors of this religion had made unfair use of means to get their doctrines taught to children. They were accused of wresting the laws of their country in such a way as to remove children from the care of their natural and legal guardians, and even stealing them away and keeping them concealed from their friends and relations. A certain number of men formed themselves into a society for the purpose of agitating the public about this matter. They published grave accusations against individual citizens of the highest position and character, and did all in their power to injure these citizens in their exercise of their professions. So great was the noise they made that a commission was appointed to investigate the facts. But after the commission had carefully inquired into all the evidence that could be got, it appeared that the accused were innocent. Not only had they been accused of insufficient evidence, but the evidence of their innocence was such as the agitators might have easily obtained, had they made an attempt to a fair inquiry. After these disclosures, the inhabitants of the country looked upon the members of the agitating society not only as persons whose judgment was to be distrusted, but also no longer to be counted as honorable men. For although they had sincerely and conscientiously believed in the charges they had made, yet they had no right to believe such evidence as was before them. Their sincere convictions, instead of being honestly earned by patient inquiry, were stolen by listening to the voice of prejudice and passion. Let us also
Sample complete. Ready to continue?